Hey everybody, welcome to Compliance with Kudzai. I am back with a new video, and today I am talking to you about how to prepare for a compliance interview. To be honest, the tips I'm going to share are probably applicable to any interview that you need to apply for, but because this is a channel that talks all things compliance, I'm going to specify and narrow it down to the compliance world. Okay? Shot. But if you have a friend who is going to be interviewing and it's for, I don't know, an IT role or anything like that, shoot them this video. It'll still help them a lot. Okay. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. We have breached 8,000 subscribers. I feel like we're definitely going to make it to 10K by the end of the year, which is the goal. I'm so excited. And I'm thinking already about what we're going to do when we get to 10K subscribers. I'm gonna have to do something. But 2,000 more people need to subscribe. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Click on that subscribe button and also press the notification bell so that you are among the first to watch my videos hot off the presses. You know, I don't get around to doing them too quickly, so you don't want to miss it when it comes out. Your girl's busy. Okay, enough about that. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting. Let's get into it. Okay, so we are talking about how to prepare for a compliance interview today. And there are a couple of things that I want to share with you that I hope will take your preparation to the next level. I know you guys obviously are not walking into interviews unprepared, but the tips I'm going to share with you today are more about just taking it to the next level, doing it a little bit better, making yourself stand out just that much more to increase your chances of getting that role. Okay. So what are these tips, Kudzai? Let's get straight into it. Okay. So one of the things that everybody does is go on the company website. Obviously, when they're saying, I've got a job at XYZ Bank, I've got an interview at XYZ Bank in 2 days' time, plonk onto the company website. Wonderful. But what I want you to do is go past that surface level, that top layer of the website, because we all know company websites are primarily directed at their client base and getting more clients, as opposed to providing you easy access to the information that you need as a candidate for a job in their organization. So I'm going to tell you where you should be looking. Number one, on the company website, look at the company press releases or media releases. They always have them, especially on these organization pages. And why are you going to do that? You're going to do that because on that media page, you're going to see what's been happening with the company in recent times. What are they excited about? Are they going into new jurisdictions? Have they got a new partnership, a new joint venture? Are they launching new products and services? All those type of things are information that you need to know because it's going to add color to your answers when you respond to questions. So if someone asks you, why do you want to work here? You're not just going to give some boring generic response that you can say at any organization. You're going to make it specific because you know that they are going into international expansion. They're expanding their footprint from just Africa to Europe and the Americas, or they're going broader into Africa from just, I don't know, South Africa into SADC or the whole, African continent. Whatever they're doing, you are able to articulate that and incorporate that into your answer. It shows that you actually know what's happening with the business. You have a genuine interest about what's going on and a genuine thought in your mind that you have the ability to contribute to what it is that they're doing. They've launched new products and services. You find that really exciting and you want to use your skill set to contribute to the success and ongoing growth and development within that organization. So when you see things like that in their press releases, on their Twitter pages, even, it's not just limited to the website. Go on their social media handles, look at the campaigns that are going out there. You will get a sense of what's happening and you incorporate that into your answers, as opposed to just, like I said, giving some generic line that you could give at any organization and it's not unique and specific. Okay, so now you've read through the press releases, gone on their social media pages, gotten up to date with what's happening. I want you now to go to the annual report that the company, especially obviously if it's a public company and they have to publish it, it will be on their website as well. Go on to their annual report, read what the CEO is saying about their future plans, 3 years, 5 years, what it is that they're looking to go into, what the technology strategy is and how that's playing out currently and the status of that. Read those type of details in the annual report, because again, they add color to your understanding. You are able to incorporate real life facts that are specific to the organization into the answers that you give, and show that you're informed, you read, you actually are specifically looking for a job in that organization and have prepared accordingly, as opposed to, a job is a job is a job is a job. In South Africa, we say, "Ijob, ijob." So you don't want to come across in that way. So by going on in depth beyond the surface layer of what you see on the front page, homepage of the company website, if you go that little step further, you are going to get the meat and bones and juice that's going to add depth to your answers. So there you go. Start there, go in deeper, and really find out what's happening at the organization and what the trajectory and future plans are, and you'll be able to talk to those in your interview. Step number 2 after that you're going to go to is go to the regulator's website and see if there's anything topical that you need to be aware of that's happening industry-wide, not just for that. Well, if you pick up an issue with the organization on the regulator's website, that's useful for you for, your information. If they're about to lose their license, you might want to know about that. But let's assume everything is hunky-dory, and now you just want to find out about industry issues. What are the hot topics that the regulators focused on in the compliance space? Are there any issues of concern that they've raised? Are they non-compliant? I know we've seen with the grey listing in South Africa, recently there's been a lot of talk by the Financial Intelligence Center about how estate agents and lawyers need to start complying with AML laws and regulations more strictly and submitting compliance reports. So if you're looking for a job as a compliance person in a law firm or estate agent, it would be good to have some sort of ability to talk to those type of issues. So it's stuff like that you're going on the regulator's website to see if there's anything that that will add depth to your understanding of the issues impacting the industry as a whole that you are seeking to enter into by working for that organization. So number 1, company website and annual financial statements and press releases gives you depth. Number 2, regulator's website helps you to understand topical issues that are affecting the industry that you will be able to talk to and address. The last thing you want someone to do is ask you a question. So what issues do you think, we should be worried about and focused on from a compliance perspective? And you have no clue. So make sure you're informed about that. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. I've got a frog in my throat. I'm recovering from a cold, but I really wanted to make this video for you today, so bear with me, okay? All right, so those are the top 2 things that I've mentioned. The first 2 things, not the top 2 things. Everything that I'm mentioning to you today is important. And then now let's go into the specifics of the job spec. So you've got the job spec, you've been called for, you applied for the job, you've now been called for the interview. Hopefully it's not like a tomorrow thing and you've got time to do all of this. You've got a couple of days to prepare. If they ask you to interview tomorrow, try and figure out if you can buy another day or 2 so you can do proper preparation. But if not, then you're pulling an all-nighter to get this done, okay? All right, so now let's look at the job spec. You've got that job spec and you're saying, right, these are the 10 things that are listed. Let's say 5 of those things are within your comfort zone, your core skill set, you're comfortable. So job number 1 is to take those 5 things where you meet the requirements and say to yourself, I need to think of examples of how, when, what, and where I have done things in real life, in my work history, and give myself examples, write down examples of change management. What have I done in change management? Project management, what are specific examples of how I've project managed? Implementing a CRMP, where have I done that in my career and how did that go and how did I manage that process? So start to think through specific examples that you can articulate to demonstrate your skill set, as opposed to just saying, yes, I've done that and I have experience, and talking about, a CRMP in a theoretical sense. Give examples of when you've actually done it, how you did it, how you managed the process, how you completed it, and, achieved the objective of, developing a CRMP, for example. So those 5 things in the 10 requirements that I mentioned in the job spec, think of specific practical examples of how you have met those things. Now, let's say there are 3 out of 5 out of the 10 that are sort of like not exactly your skill set, but you've done them sort of in a different space. An example of that would be, let's say, compliance monitoring, and you have an audit background. You may not have necessarily done a specific compliance test in that's the context, but you've done audit. And that is a transferable skill in terms of compliance testing. So you need to be able to articulate where you have transferable skills and say it might not be identical, but I think these skills that I have as a result of 1, 2, 3 things that I did are closely aligned to and transferable into this specific context. So again, identify, think about your resume, think about the work that you've done, and say, how can I make this fit into this space as a transferable skill? And sometimes this may not be a transferable skill. You might have another skill that, okay, I can't transfer it into this, but it is still a skill set that will add value into the compliance space. So don't be afraid to talk about those and think, okay, I've done data analytics. It might not necessarily on the face of it look like something that is, a core skill set for a compliance officer. But in this day and age, data analytics is key. You need to be able to analyze data for decision-making purposes. So talk about how that can be an overall value add to the compliance team as a whole. So don't forget to mention those little nuggets of information around what you have done, and that can be a value add, even if it's not specifically a requirement in that particular job spec. It'll just help show up, your appeal to the business and show them that, maybe we didn't know that we needed this, but now that she's brought it up or he's brought it up, this would be good for us. So be aware of identifying those type of things within your skill set. And then last but not least, we always know that there is that gap where you don't have the skill. You've not had the experience in the space. You've not done it at all. You don't have a transferable skill. It's like completely new territory. No one ever meets the requirements of a resume 100%. So don't actually aim to do that, and don't not apply because, you didn't meet it 100%. 65 to 70%, you're good to go. Everything else can be learned, okay? So now how do you address it when you don't have the skill set? For starters, don't go in there feeling apologetic about the fact that you don't have the skill set. You're a human being. All of us have things we still need to learn. There's no need to walk in there with your head down because you don't have a skill set. What you do need to demonstrate is that you are the type of person who, when you do have a gap, you have the skills, the determination, and the tenacity to quickly close that gap. Let me give you an example to illustrate. So for example, training. Let's say the job requires you to deliver training and you've never quite delivered compliance training in your life. So what you need to be able to say is that I have great presentation skills and I've presented before, so my confidence about being in front of people is not in question. It's about the art of training facilitation, which I still need to learn. But I have investigated the possibility of getting a coach to train me, and I'm willing to shadow someone in the team and watch them do it and learn from them. And I am confident of my ability for, after observing, 2 or 3 sessions, to pick up the core skills. I know the content is just the art of training that I need to learn, and I'll be able to run with it within a short period of time. Why I'm confident in my skill set is that in my previous role, I had this XYZ skills gap, and I managed to close that within 6 weeks of starting the job and was able to operate independently thereafter. So you're showing that, listen, I'm aware that I've got this gap. I'm aware that there's something to be worked on, but I can do it. I can put a plan in place to upskill in a short period of time. So that's not something that you will have to worry about. So it's really about being able to articulate where you have a gap and how you're going to close that gap, as opposed to walking in there kind of like, head down and, yes, I don't have the skill, and I hope it's not a disadvantage. I'm really eager. Like, if you're eager, how? Like, how are you closing this gap if you're eager? talk to that. Have a plan in place that you've thought of in terms of how you're going to address the gap if you get the role. Or even if you don't get the role, maybe you should say to yourself, I understand it's a gap in my skill set. Whether or not I get this role, I am going to proceed to upskill in the area of compliance training facilitation. That shows that you're also committed to your own personal and professional development outside of the role itself. Okay, I hope these tips were really helpful for you. Go in depth, don't keep it at a surface level. Understand the specifics of the company, understand the specifics of the industry, and go into that interview confident, unapologetic about the gaps that you have, but having a plan and the ability to talk to your plan to close that skills gap within a short period of time. And of course, highlight by showing previous accomplishments, your key skills where you do meet the specifications of the job requirement. Okay. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. If you do actually need just a little bit more guide and help with specific questions, I've got the videos that I've done in the past about answering interview questions. I'll include the links into those in this video. But also get yourself a copy of my top 20 guide, Q&A guide to compliance interview questions. There's 20 great questions in there that any interviewer will, I'm pretty sure some few hiring managers have gotten my book, just saying, my ebook. So get yours, prepare, and yeah, download it, and you'll have some great questions that you can work through. Practice in front of the mirror if you need to. I do that sometimes when I've got a presentation to do, and you're gonna rock your next interview. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'll be back soon enough with more videos. Yeah, we're going to get to 10K this year. Bye.